it's a shame Brandon Coleman still didn't practice today. He didn't come out in pads, so we didn't get a chance to see him against this Jets pass rush. Andrew Wiley was out here in pads, but didn't play in any of the 11 on 11. Kind of continued doing,
which is consistent with what we've seen.
Right,
Yeah.
we're now going on a week and a half of that, give or take. So you had Cornelius Lucas and you had Trent Scott as your starting tackles, on the left for Luke and on the right for Trent Scott. And unfortunately, Trent Scott, just hasn't looked very good once they put on pads. He's been beaten like a drum over and over again. A couple times he got put on skates, and you mentioned the one play where Will Anderson came around the back end and kind of just tapped the ball out of Jayden's hands. That would have been a blow up sack had he been able to hit Jayden. And I thought the interior of the O-line did a pretty good job. They're going up against Quinnen Williams and a stout interior front for the Jets, and you didn't see a lot of pressure come up the middle for them. It was mostly around the outsides, and honestly, it got so bad at one point that they took Chris Paul and they moved him out to right tackle just to see if maybe they could get a little more out of him there. And quite frankly, it's about the same issue that Trent Scott had. So, I hope this is eye-opening for this coaching staff. We saw him make a couple of line additions over the last couple of days, but if Brandon Coleman and Andrew Wiley aren't able to come back anytime soon, they're gonna have to go out and do something drastic, because this tackle situation is not tenable.
We talked about the struggles Forbes had, particularly the secondary struggled. They did get some good rushes from Luvu. I thought even Dorrance Armstrong, especially once Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses checked out, and then they were working on backup tackles. I think things improved there. Offensively, non-O-line, non-Jayden, I thought Ertz, B-Rob, and Eckler in limited usage all looked pretty good. We saw Eckler returning kicks. We saw B-Rob in different locations. I did find their usage, and Quinn has said a bunch, guys that are going to get a lot of work today probably won't go Saturday. I wonder how much of those guys we see. And I continue to be encouraged, not just about Ertz, Eckler, B-Rob, but about the three of them on the field together. And even Sennett in some fullback situations. I don't know how much depth they have at wideout. There's Terry, there's Jahan, but I think they're going to try to make this a holistic approach at the skill position.
Yeah, the only other guy I wanted to point out was, because I've been particularly tough on him, I thought Marcus Mariota looked pretty good today. He had one read option when they were in the red zone that he was able to take around the edge and would have scored easily. I think his kind of ball handling skills behind the line of scrimmage are
really good.
And I think, when you're playing against a different team, I think you're able to see that a little bit better. And, especially when he was able to tuck the ball and run, I do think that he plays a really important role on this offense. And most of that is in the meeting rooms and as a kind of Jayden Daniels whisperer.